Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic I wanted to talk about the empath's rage and basically wanting the narcissist dead. Wanting the narcissist dead. I know a lot of people wouldn't want to say that, but you get to a point, right? You're going through the stages of grieving. You're grieving the lies. You're coming to the realization, you feel like your world is basically breaking apart, and then boom, it's like it breaks apart and you just can never go back to being who you used to be. The narcissist takes away certain joys in life, the simple things, just that peace that you have when you wake up in the morning and you're just like, I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy that I'm still here. A lot of people didn't make it. I got to make it, that peace that you feel when you're in nature, when you tell yourself, you know what, I need to get back to myself, right? The narcissist has broken me down so much. There's nothing more that they could do to break me down. I expect the worst out of this person. You don't care about looking crazy anymore. You don't care what people think. You react out of emotions. You try to control it, but you can't. You're angry. You're upset. So you stay away from the narcissist. You try to get some peace. You try to do things by yourself for once. You start doing things you always wanted to do. And even if you have a certain type of joy out of doing all these things that you never got to do, it takes you a long time to even, get to that point, because you're like, I'm too depressed, I'm too sad to do anything, even roll up out of bed, go to work, talk to anyone. You get triggered by music, you get triggered by relationships, you get triggered by children, you get triggered by everything. At least for me it was, because I was made all these promises. I sacrificed my family, everything I ever knew, because I thought I was going to have my own family, and once, I had a miscarriage and the narcissist started treating me worse and basically telling me, good thing that baby died. It doesn't deserve to be in this fucked up world, fuck that kid, fuck that baby, and all that pain I went through for hours being in labor, and I was so just traumatized after the whole situation. I was traumatized. My body wasn't the same. My health was declining. I didn't have no energy. And I just wanted to be away from this person. I just wanted to be away from them. And when they realized that, and I wasn't, feeding into them like I used to, as far as crying over them and chasing them around, trying to figure out what I did wrong. Once I stopped doing all that, because I just couldn't take it anymore. Even if I was hurt, I couldn't go around chasing anyone, embarrassing myself that way, because the narcissist gets to the point where they're like, I'll embarrass you in public, and then you'll start doing things being triggered by this person, where I got to the point where I even had to drive off on them multiple times, because I was like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not driving with this person in the car yelling at me, so you go through all these cycles, and then you finally just want peace because you can't take it. And then when you want that peace, what does the narcissist do? They start being more provocative. Now the narcissist got to the point where I didn't want to take them back. And then they wanted to love bomb me, just to be sexual with me, to promise me things over and over again. Like I said, I was already, broken down from the whole situation. I couldn't take anymore. But I still kept trying, because I didn't want to believe that everything I sacrificed, my family, everyone, putting them first, thinking I'm going to build, start a new life. I I wasn't, expecting that type of, disloyalty and betrayal. And I couldn't understand it because you don't know how sinister these people are. You keep wanting to think like, no, they have to have an ounce of love in their heart. They have to have some type of empathy, sympathy, something, because you're not the one that was abusing them. So you think they're going to feel bad about what you went through, your illnesses, the things that they put you through, everything that's been manifesting in your life. But there's no remorse over you losing your career, everything you worked hard for. There's no remorse there. They didn't even look at it like, they didn't even give you your credit, your flowers for the things that, you did do. Basically, was if it has nothing to do with me, then it doesn't really matter. And they pretend like they're happy for you. There's certain moments where they pretend like they're happy for you, but it's not really going to show, or sometimes they'll just blatantly show you that they're not really there for you. And when they're angry, they'll tell you. And you don't want to believe it, but you have to look at it like, if a stranger disrespects you in the way that the narcissist would, you wouldn't be playing with that person. You wouldn't be messing with them. You would take it serious. You would defend yourself. You would do something to defend yourself, So, you get to the point where you can't be around this person in any kind of way. They're bad for your health. They're bad for you spiritually, mentally. You become paranoid. You don't trust people. Your senses are out of tact. Your senses are out of balance. You'll start thinking everyone's a narcissist, or you'll start seeing certain people and you start to pay attention to certain things that these people are doing. You'll start paying attention to certain things that these people are doing, right? That you never really noticed before. Like people around you, your friends, your families, you're at a barbecue, you start seeing that, your friend's husband wasn't the nice guy you thought he was. You always thought, oh, he's a nice guy. Every time I come over, he's very generous, very welcoming. And then you start to see that it wasn't about them being nice and welcoming as a friend. You start to see that it was actually flirtation, because when you're with the narcissist, you're so loyal to this person that you don't even realize when people are flirting with you. You only have eyes for the narcissist. That's all you think about. Now you start to see, these characteristics in other people, and you don't know if you're going crazy. You don't know what's going on, Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're just making up stuff because you're out of touch with reality now. You might think you're right, but you're wrong. Just like the narcissist gets very delusional now, they make up stories, or they tell you who your family is. They tell you who your friends are. They think they know everyone in a way that they don't. They might know certain traits about that person, but they try to define that person's personality and who they are based on what they see. When we all know most people are wearing masks, some people are playing stupid. But the narcissist is someone that, as much as they analyze, they can be deceived as well. So when you get to the point where you realize this person is sick, it's been months since the discard. They've been in and out. I've tried to give them chances. I'm too weak to fight back. Sometimes I'll even answer the phone, as a friend, just to see what they have to say, if they'll have remorse, and there isn't any. They act like they didn't really do anything to you. The more you talk to them, the more they act like they didn't do anything to you, because if they really had done something to you, you wouldn't talk to them, because they feel like if they get disrespected, they wouldn't mess with you, right? They feel like I wouldn't mess with people that disrespect me, But this person has controlled you and dominated you for so long, sometimes you give them the benefit of the doubt, and then when you realize, hey, this person's not going to change, I have to, no matter how much I love them, I have to let them go, because all they're doing is hurting me, and I know that's all they're going to do. They've been doing it for so many years that what's going to change? I said that the second year being with them, the third year, fourth year, seventh year, next thing you know, it's 10 and I can't do it anymore, because I'm going to end up hurting you. I'm going to end up hurting you, or I'm going to end up getting in trouble, or you're going to end up hurting me. We get to that point where it's like, we're at the point where I feel like I finally realized you're a predator, and I feel like killing you. I feel like hurting you. I feel like breaking your car. I feel like slashing tires. I feel like beating up the new supply. I don't care if she knows. I don't care if she does it, though. I'm ready to go at it with whoever, whenever, And the narcissist will still take you as a joke. It doesn't matter. It's just like a big show to them, a big game. It gives them something to talk about. They like people fighting over them. They like making people look dumb. They like laughing at you. They've been laughing at you the whole time. That's why their friends and family keying and saying certain things to you. It's really sick because there's no difference between them and an enemy. The only difference is that they're getting something from you. Benefits, sex, something. Which in my case, I feel like that's what makes it even more hurtful. You weren't even able to process certain things that people told you at the moment because you were blinded, not thinking that someone that you're around all the time is backstabbing you, talking to other people, getting together with your enemies. So, you get to the point where you just isolate yourself. You need that peace. You need nature. You need, a break from the whole world, from everyone. So you isolate yourself from the world, from anyone, from music, from the internet, from everything. And you start to realize, wow, like the world is big. Wow. People, you're looking at things that people overlook. You're paying attention to the smallest things. You're paying attention to the behavior of animals. It's like you woke up to a new world. And if you take that narcissist back, you open that door. The narcissist even contacted me with no remorse and said to me, I miss you, can I come see you? And I already knew it was all game. They've done it so many times. They even bought me gifts, flowers, dates. I'm going to send you money. Do you need some money? Just because? For no reason? And I realized, this person is actually trying to buy me. I can't believe it. It got so disrespectful years later, where the narcissist even contacted me and asked me, how much will I charge him to have sex with me? And I already knew how narcissists think, how they don't have remorse, how they're ego driven. I knew these things already. But I wasn't surprised when they said that to me, because I already knew how sick in the head they are. So it starts to process, you go through the sadness for so long because you still love them. Eventually, when you realize they never loved you, they used you, it was a con. It was just someone to waste time with, save money, someone to use sexually. When you realize your dreams, everything you ever wanted was never going to happen, and they knew that, and they didn't feel like it was their responsibility to tell you the truth. They felt like, hey, as long as you keep going on this rodeo with me, whether I'm lying, telling the truth, whether I'm love bombing you, whether I'm telling you that all those things, relationships are like this is normal. People go through ups and downs. Oh, all that BS, that bullshit they fed you. Once you realize it was bullshit, everything. And you're done with being sad. You're done day after day being sad. You're done with the point. You're done to the point where you might be able to wake up in the morning and tell yourself you're at peace and you're just happy to be out of this toxic relationship, and you're just happy that life goes on, right? You're just happy you can do things on your own. But then when you start to experience doing all the things you ever wanted to do on your own all the time, and you're traveling and you're going places and you're doing all these things alone, it gets boring. It gets, you realize, wow, you start to realize that this person really wasted your time, and you could have been doing other things. They kept you from your goals. They messed up your finances. They put you in debt. You lost family, friends, everyone. You lost your career, everything you worked hard for, all the years you put into going to school. Some of you guys even get criminal records, right? Or they leave you on drugs. They leave you smoking weed. They leave you, coke the fuck out. They leave you, on psych medications. They got you going to the doctor, seeing a therapist every week. You don't know what to do because you don't feel stable. Your mind is always racing. Your mind is always thinking. Your mind is always going everywhere. And you get to the point where you're just like, well, I don't want to live anymore. I don't have anything to live. They get you to the point where you feel like you don't have anything worth living for. What's the point on having money? You can't share it with anyone. What's the point on having your own house? No one comes over. It's just you. What's the point on having all these nice things? Yeah, you have all these. It doesn't mean anything. You're listening to your neighbors having big parties with their families, and you're like, I had a family once. So certain people can say, oh, it's a life lesson what you go through, with the narcissist, and life goes on. And, we need to understand that the narcissist has their issues, and that make them the way they are. And a lot of people try to compare themselves to the narcissist because you start to feel that narcissistic rage that they feel. So you start to think, oh, okay, this is just what people do. This is how people turn into bad people. And you kind of start having some remorse because you feel like, hey, everyone feels like this. But the difference is that the empath a lot of times doesn't have the skills or, the strength to keep on thriving the way the narcissist does, from supply to supply to supply. You don't have that type of energy because they took so much of it. So people can tell you these things and it sounds good. Oh, it sounds good. Oh, yeah, it teaches you life lessons. Now you know how to be aware of good and evil. But it still doesn't stop the fact that they ruined a lot of things for you. So people can tell you, oh, move on. But no, that pain of knowing, hey, I'll never speak to my family again. They'll never forgive me. There's no coming back from that. Certain people look at you like it's no coming back from that. And you realize how serious life is. And you realize that when you do certain things, sometimes you can't come back from those things. You commit a crime, you can't come back from that. You could change your life, but you still did that. You can't change what you did. And you have to live with it forever. So people can tell you a lot of good things, but you have to carry that pain for the rest of your life, even if that pain gets diluted and it doesn't hurt as bad. So when you're not sad anymore, trust me, you'll be sad for a long time. You'll be playing the love songs. You'll be crying. Some days you're happy. Some days you're on this high, But it's going to come a point in time where you're angry, when you're upset, when you're pissed, when you're triggered, when anything and everything that anyone might say about you will trigger you, and you will go from 0 to 100, and then you have to learn how to control that rage. because you realize that once upon a time, if people said certain things, or they were subliminally saying things to you, or they were subliminally saying things to others, or they were making gestures or doing eye contact, or making jokes and acting like they're playing, and you overlooked all those times people said things to you, right? You overlooked it because you didn't know that people were constantly playing a game, so you never really paid attention to it. Especially when you're young, certain jokes go over your head. You're like, especially because you don't have a lot of life experience, so certain things people say, you don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? Or you might have not grew up watching movies and TV all the time. Like, I grew up in a household that we weren't allowed to watch certain, movies and television and worldly stuff. So a lot of times people said certain things, I didn't get it, And when you finally catch someone disrespecting you and you say something to them, they make you look like the bad person, because to them it's like, I've been disrespecting you this whole time. Now you want to stand up for yourself? You're freaking weak. You're freaking weak, because you should have been catching everything I've been saying. Don't act like I'm treating you different now. I've been doing this to you. I've been acting like this. This is my personality around you. I don't act like this. This is not my personality around everyone, but around you, this is my personality. This is how I am. I mean around you, or I say mean jokes, or I say things subliminally, or I act like a smart ass because I know I can get away with it. So when you finally stand up for yourself, they act like they're offended, because they're like, the hell you standing up for yourself? I always act like this. I always play with you this way. And you're like, hey, well, I really don't like you saying that to me. I really don't like you talking to me like that. Now they act offended. Now they're mad. Now they're gaslighting you. Now they're telling flying monkey stuff about you. Now they're like, oh, she's so dumb. She's mad because of this, and that. Bro, she's done worse things to me. And a lot of times, your instincts were telling you something was wrong. And sometimes you did attack maybe at the wrong time, but it's because you were feeling that person's energy. So you get to the point where now you see everything clear, 20/20 vision. And you get to the point where now when people say certain things, you don't take it lightly. People look at you a certain way, you don't take it lightly, because you're reading their body language, you're looking at, giving them eye contact. A lot of times you can tell what certain people are going to do before they do it. You're already thinking to yourself, oh, this person, they're going to give me bad service. I can tell, because they came up to me and the way they looked at me, you could tell. Sometimes you could tell right away. And now that means that your senses are on full activation. And now you realize that people are constantly disrespecting one another because they're trying to see who's going to crack first. Who's going to get upset first? Who's going to take it personal? So at first, you're snapping. You're going off. The slightest disrespect, you're taking it personal because someone did that to you for a long time. And then when you finally realize or caught up with what they did, you finally realize the disrespect. So now you snap back. You're angry. You're upset. And you also realize how predatorial people are, and you realize, hey, I wouldn't let someone disrespect me now, not even the slightest bit. So living, knowing that you took so much, disrespect for many years, even a decade or a couple of decades, when you realize that you were actually taking that, it makes you want to kill that person. Because it's not like they disrespected you and then you want to fight them, or you just want to give them a taste of their own medicine, but you realize that person literally almost killed you. And that'll make you so angry, because now there's no love involved. They're gone. They're living their life. When you realize that all these people that hurt you are living their life, and they didn't think twice about what they did to you, you're going to realize, like, you know, I didn't get justice for what this person did to me. And it's like someone murdering someone close to you. And I know, you know, it's not the same, but they killed everything there is about you. And then you're not getting justice, and that's why you wish bad things to happen to them. But most of all, sometimes you wish that they actually died. You're like, I wish my parents died. I feel like as long as they're alive, I'm never going to have that peace of what they did to me, because they're living their life like nothing. Like they don't even have children. Like they didn't even raise me. They were looking at me like they were disgusted with me, and I'm their child. You know, it's like they wish you weren't born, especially when you have, you know, the golden child or that sister who's very attractive, very beautiful, and you just can't compete with her. She gets all the attention, and it's not that you're jealous. It's that you see that they treat one person in a loving way, and with you, they treat you like they're disgusted with you. They're staring at you weird. They're staring at you like you're a stranger, like they kind of wish they never had you. You know, they're looking at you like you stink. You know, they're looking at you like they're forcing themselves to be nice. When they do nice things, it doesn't feel like it's coming from the heart. It's coming from you're my daughter. It's the right thing to do, and I don't want to look bad in front of people. And you know, it's the right thing to do. It's not their fault that they don't have the same qualities as this kid. So even if you know that everything that they do for you is coming from a good place, it's just the simple thought of knowing that they will never look at you that way. So this is what will make you feel like, you know, fuck these people. They should have been honest about how they felt about me from the beginning, so that I wouldn't have, you know, high expectations about people, or they shouldn't have love bombed me to that level, because now I'm expecting unrealistic, you know, ideas of a fantasy of what love or relationship should be like. So you almost blame them, but most of all, you blame yourself. So a lot of times the reason you wish death on the narcissist, a lot of times it's because it's a projection of how you feel inside. You wish these things on you because you don't want to feel these things anymore. So these people, you know, have agendas. And once you realize that everyone has an agenda, it makes you sick to your stomach, because all the relationships and friendships you had, it was never an agenda behind it. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you guys are new, if you guys want to book a booking session, my booking information will be on the description. Just give me about 24 hours to respond to you, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.